Good morning, mathematicians. We are very excited for the work that you're going to do today. It's basically a review of everything we've been doing this week. We're going to be looking at counting on facts. We're going to be looking at doubles facts, doubles plus one, and doubles minus one. And you get to use that really cool number rack again. So we're going to check that out right now. I'm going to share my screen. Make sure you have your math notebook ready and make sure you have a pen ready to take some notes, so that you can refer back to those notes as you're doing the work today that we're going to send you. So we're gonna start with some count on facts. We talked about counting on and how counting on can really help you be a little bit more efficient when you're solving. So I have an example. I have 3 plus 28 equals n. My question would be, am I gonna start by adding the 3 to the 28? Am I gonna start by counting from the 3, or am I gonna start from the 28 and add the 3? So I want you to think what's going to be more efficient. And something that I really, I discovered yesterday that my friends from my class showed me is that you can actually add some beads to this number rack, which I thought was pretty cool. So I'm going to add some more beads on here just so that I have my equation represented. So instead of starting with 3 and then adding the 28, it's going to be more efficient if we start with the 28 and then add the 3. So I'm going to set aside my beads to represent the 28. We know this is 10 because we've been subitizing, right? We can see that's clearly 5 and 5. So that's another 10, which means we have 20. And then I know this is another 10, that would give me 30, right? But I know I need to take 2 away to represent the 28 for now. And now I'm looking at my other addend. Remember, addend is just another juicy word to say the number in the equation. So if I look, I have a 3, so I'm gonna underline that. I'm gonna underline my addend. Okay. So again, I'm just counting on from there. So now I have my 28, and then I'm going to grab my 3 from down here. I'm going to exit out of my pen and just adding the 3 over here. So now we know we have 28, 29, 30, 31. So 3 plus 28 is 31, or n equals 31. So pause me right now so that you can write your notes down and write this number rack with the equation in your notes so that you can refer back to it. And we're going to write that n with a better pen. N equals 31. And remember, these are called counting on facts. These are so beneficial, especially when you're doing equations like 99 plus 4. You don't want to start with the 4. You want to start with the 99, the larger addend. All right, so we're back. So those are the count on facts. Now we're gonna look at some doubles facts, okay? So write down your equation, write down at the top of your notebook, doubles facts, so you're organizing all of your notes. And this equation is 13 plus 13 equals n. I know these are doubles facts because we have the same addend being added to itself, right? It's double. And so, let's think about how we're going to solve this on the number rack. I'm looking, it looks like I might not have enough beads, so I'm going to add another set of beads. Okay, so I know I have 13, that's my first addend, they're both 13. So I know I can start with, I know there's a 10. If I were to break apart the 13, if I were to, what's that word? If I were to decompose the 13, I know I have a 10 in there. So I'm going to represent that with a pen. I'm going to represent the 13. I know that if I decompose it, I have a 10 in there. And I'm doubling, right? So it's the same with my other addend. So I know there's a 10 in the 13s. And then if I decompose the rest of it, right, it's another 3. That's a really ugly 3, but you know what I mean. Okay, so now I'm gonna go grab my beads again on my number rack. So now I have my 10 and my 10 again. Okay, and then I also have to remember that I can't forget about my 3's, right? From the 13, from both of my 13's. So I'm gonna just separate them like this. And so now we're going to write an equation that is equivalent to 13 plus 13, because this is the equation that we're putting together. So I'm gonna grab my pen. And so now I know that, ooh, that's not the pen. Okay, now I know that 13 plus 13 could also be represented as, right, we have 10 plus 10 plus, and I can just put these together. I know that there's 6 here, right? Plus 6. And just to make sure that we have the correct sum, we want to make sure the sum is the same on both sides. So let me do this one first. I know 10 plus 10 is 20, plus 6 gives us a sum of 26. And then I have 13 plus 13. I have 3 ones, that gives me 6 ones. A 10 and a 10 gives me 2 10s. So 26 is the same as 26. When you do your work today, I want you to try to think of whatever your doubles facts equation is, to think of another equation that is the same as 13 plus 13 using the number rack, the way that I decompose the numbers to add efficiently. And the reason why we decompose it is that it's so much easier, friends, to work with 10s and then just adding the rest. Okay, so pause me so that you can take notes. You can even take a picture. Whatever is going to be most helpful to you, you can do that. Okay, you're back. That means that you're ready for 2 more facts. The next one we talked about yesterday, I believe. Yeah, yesterday. Doubles plus 1. Now, if you didn't get to write these notes down, make sure you write this down. This is important so that you remember, well, when does this work? Okay, the doubles plus 1 fact. So if you take a look, doubles plus 1, I double the smaller addends and then add 1 more. If you're like, what's an addend again? Just remember, addends is just a juicy word to say the numbers in the equation, right? It's the numbers that you're adding in an equation. So you're gonna write this down if you don't have that note in your notebook from this week, and you're gonna write the equation down 11 plus 12, okay? I'm just looking at that equation and I know that's probably gonna need more than 20. So again, I'm gonna definitely need another set of beads. So I'm gonna add my beads. Okay, so here we go. So I'm looking at my notes. I double the smaller addends and then add 1 more. What's the smaller addend in 11 plus 12? Oh yeah, it is 11. So I'm gonna grab another color. So this is my smaller addend. And it says to double that one. So I'm gonna double that smaller addend. Okay, and then I have to add 1 to get my answer. So I'm gonna write that down. And then this equation that I just came up with, right, from doubles plus 1, I know is the same as 11 plus 12. But let's just make sure. So I know 11 plus 11 gives me 22, plus 1 more gives me 23. Okay, and then let me just check over here. I have a 1 and a 2 in the ones place. That I know 1 and 2 gives me 3. And then a 10 and a 10, that gives me 23. 23 is equal to 23. You betcha, right? So here's another strategy, another fact that we can use to solve when you have problems or equations like this. Okay, take your notes, think about it, and now you're back. So we have 1 more fact that we're gonna look at, and that's the doubles minus 1. I think we might have, in our 3 classes, we might have run out of time. And I did send a video yesterday about the doubles minus 1 fact, but let's just go over it. And guess what? It's the same equation that I'm using. So again, these are different notes, so make sure you write this note down if you didn't review this with your teacher yesterday or you didn't get to watch the video. Doubles minus 1. I double the larger addends and then I subtract 1. So this is just another efficient strategy. And again, you're going to write 11 plus 12 equals n. We need another set of beads as we saw with the previous equation or the previous page. So I'm going to add one more. Okay, so now I'm thinking I have to double the larger addend. I know the larger addend this time around is 12. And so I'm going to circle it. Let me give me a second, guys. Let me choose, I like to use different colors so you guys can see it better. So I'm going to choose my larger addend. So I have to double that. 12 plus 12. And then it says I have to subtract 1. So I don't get confused. I'm going to just separate it like that so it looks better with a parentheses. Okay, you're going to use the parentheses a lot this year. And then I know this equation is the same as, or it's going to give me the same sum as 11 plus 12. But now I have to check my work. Okay, so now I know 12 plus 12, 12 plus 12, oh yeah, 24. But now I have to subtract 1, and that's going to give me 23. And then we saw this from earlier, that 11 plus 12 is 23. Okay, and I think I forgot to do this with the last one with the beads, but I'll go back to the last one. I just remember right now. So I'm gonna grab my beads to represent this. I have to exit out of my pen. Oh, and remember, you can use the number rack and take pictures of your work instead of drawing it out today, which is really, I know a lot of my friends really liked that yesterday. So what am I gonna do? I am going to, I need to move my beads around. So what did I do to get this answer? I know that I added 12 plus 12. So I'm actually gonna add maybe another set of beads so it's not confusing. Okay, so I added, that's gonna be 12, and then I added another 12. Okay, and then what did I do? I just subtracted 1 so I could get my 23. So I'm gonna write that down that I subtracted this one. So I had 12 and 12, and then I subtracted 1. I'm gonna go back to the last one because I think I didn't, I didn't do it. So I did the equation with you guys, but I forgot to represent it on here. So let's do it again. So, and I'm gonna have to add beads so you can see it. One more set of beads. But yes, okay, so here we go, friends. We did 11, that's 11, and then we had 11 again, right? And so we had 11 plus 11, but we had to add 1 more. So I can add my 1 over here. So we knew this was 22, and we added 1 more. I'm gonna write it down that we added this one, and this one gave us all together on this side gave us 23 like we talked about last time. So just go back to your notes from the last one. Sorry, I completely forgot to represent it with the number rack. So now you have all 4 strategies that we went over today. And for math, today your assignment is that you are going to, number 1, you're watching this video already. That's the first thing. Number 2, you've already probably taken notes. You're gonna work on problems as practice. You're gonna take a picture of each problem of your number rack, and then you're gonna send it to your teacher. And just so that you guys can see the problems, you have the 4 facts, and you have an equation for each one. You're gonna use the number rack that we're sending you the website. And then again, remember, just take a picture of your work, make sure you have your name on there, and you're writing down your equations on there as well. Have a great day, and we will see you later.